Welcome. This is Chimp 102 by Alejandro Sanchez. Today what we'll look is our chimp configuration. So the three simple configurations that we will look at are cucumber configuration, the chimp configuration, and your Selenium grid configuration. So this is the one that you can use with your source labs, browser stack, or so on. Within this example, we will use a source lab example. Okay. Let's try it. So, as you remember, I'm using Eclipse for this demonstration, and I've created some feature files, and I have my step definitions. Since our last visit, my Eclipse got upgraded, and we have some additional messaging. We will investigate how we can take this one off. Also, we had our chimp configuration file, and just with a basic attribute, which was the offline to false. And this is the area that we will be working on today. So I have gone to my chimp folder, and I will need to look what type of node version I'm using. So we're using for this demonstration 5.5.0 nvm use 5.5.0, and then I should be able to execute my commands. So at the moment, what I have is it will run all of those test cases except the ones with ignore, and this is due to the tags that I have. So if I have this as watch, I should be able to execute just that one test. So as we run chimp, we will see that chimp will start a browser, and then it will execute the Google search feature in my local asset. So we're just waiting for that to load, and that will just run the feature chimp, and it failed because it wasn't fast enough. Okay, and that's okay. Now the next thing that we're gonna look is the configuration. So there's a few configurations that I had prepared earlier. And we see work. Okay. So we've got our configuration. So first, the one we're gonna look is the cucumber configuration. So all of these you can actually find into the chimp code in GitHub. So in here we can see the path of where the features will be located, the type of format in which it will execute, any tags that we want to execute or ignore, and some of these ones are for the screenshots that we will capture. And also you can create a JSON output for the report. So currently I have it at JSON format pretty. So let's save this configuration, and then we run chimp again. So as it runs chimp again, it will load this configuration. It will look for any feature files that are under features. The way that it will populate is on pretty format. So as you can see, it does the pretty format on the given when then, and it will capture the relevant screenshots. So as I go into my chimp folder and refresh, you'll see that now we have test.json, and this one is the report that we can have as a JSON format, and that's everything as currently nothing happened, that we did not have any errors. Okay, so if we look at that JSON file, pretty much it just gives you the description of what transaction happened and the relevant screenshots. Now the next thing that we're gonna see is we actually gonna change the format to progress and save, and we're gonna run this again, and you'll see the difference. So Cucumber runs under progress, so instead of giving you the steps of what you're executing, it will just, based on pass, it will give you a green dot, and if it fails, a red dot. So if you see, you get the green dots in the console, and the output does just from the code that we have previously. And so that's the format for progress. Now let's say that we want the tags to, instead of ignore, to be manual, not to run anything that is manual. For example, if I have any tags on manual, so in this case, any of the transactions that I have under ignore, they should also be executed because they're not a manual tag. So let's run that again. So as we can see, that'll be running, it will be loading the browser. Because it's progress, you see, it's still just dot and updates what is executing. So those are the test case for conversation that we had before, and this is the test cases for search, and the 7 test cases have passed, and that's been updated into my JSON. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is, which we haven't got in here, is creating a folder for the screenshots. Okay, so if we refresh, now we don't have the screenshots folder at the moment. So what we'll do is we will remove the dot. Okay, I still want this to be ignore, so we don't run all of the test cases, and I prefer to have a pretty format. And we run our chimp again. Now, in this instance, I cannot use the watch because I'm actually changing the configuration. So every time that you change the configuration, no changes will be updated. So that's why we have to just run the basic command for chimp. Okay, so is executed the test case. Now, if I refresh, I should see my screenshots. And if you look at those screenshots, right, so they'll be for all of the transactions that we have in there, which are from here. So I'll just delete that because that's not an actual step. And there you go. You have the screenshots. Okay, so that's our configuration for Cucumber, right? Let's say also we want to capture the failures only. So screenshots on failure equals true. Capture all step screenshots, because this could be consuming. So we're gonna change this to false. We're gonna delete our screenshots from this folder so we can actually see the difference. And then we're gonna execute our test case, our scenario. Okay. So as we run it, I've also changed the assertion, so it needs to look for chimp XX, which of course is not going to find. Therefore, when it runs, it will pass those test cases, and then it can't find chimp XX, therefore it failed. And as we refresh our chimp folder, again, you should see the failed screenshots. I did not save this, therefore that's why it captured all of the screenshots. So let's just do it again. Okay, delete. Okay, and we run again. Okay, so that runs again, it fails. Okay, and then as we refresh, we only have the fail, and you can see what is the actual step that failed, and you can have a look at the screenshot and see what happened. Okay, we will look at reporting on, or HTML reporting at a later stage. at this stage, the reporting that we have is on the JSON, but we'll have a look at that as an extra later on. So this is our Cucumber configuration.